This video is the 600th video on the channel. I missed this opportunity at 500 videos, so I'm doing it now to basically go through the back end of the YouTube channel and just give you an insight. It's also a really good time to do this because my prognosis of the channel is that it's slowly dying, it's slowly withering away, and I've made a couple of changes. I've talked a little bit about that in my first newsletter, that if you happen to be a subscriber, we're going to go through it in a little bit more of a sort of a free-form way, and then maybe in another point in the future I will sort of download the data and you can do your own analysis on the channel. This is the channel homepage. This is what people rarely see. Not many people go to this page. To go there, you click on a sort of channel create and it takes you to their landing page. So this is the page I get to design on YouTube. So if you come to my channel via a link, this is what you'll see. You'll see my most watched video, because that makes the most sense to put up there. Other channels that I own, if that makes sense. Collaborations, a new feature on YouTube. Most recent videos. Members, I have channel members. I'll talk a bit about that soon. Member only videos, creative playlist, a bunch of other things. Sketch notes. Sketch notes is so sad. I'll come to that in a second, because those are painful. I'll talk a bit about them later. But this is the channel in a nutshell, and if you go through the tabs you'll see different video categories. So my most recent videos, shorts, these are also very interesting. Live streams that I've done. I have not done one in a long time. These are hard, I'll explain why. Podcasts, we've got a podcast with Ravi. I basically connected the RSS feed for the podcast, so it appears here. Courses, this is a new thing. I don't know why this is labeled a course, but apparently I have a course. So we're gonna play around with this setting to try and see if we can do a little bit more with it. So something super interesting to watch out for. Playlists, this is great. I have so many playlists. A lot of these playlists are probably courses in the YouTube sense. That's kind of what they're going for. So I'll do that. Posts, a little sort of posts that I've done here on the channel, sort of landing page, and then membership. We'll get into that. Memberships are, I'm not a member of myself, which makes total sense. But this is a pretty interesting sort of way to kind of look at the channel. So what do I see when I come to YouTube? Not this. This is what other people can see, and you can go see this today. What I see is this page over here. So YouTube Studio. You log into YouTube, and there is a bug at the moment. I'm in Google Chrome, so I don't know why this bug exists for this thumbnail, but the thumbnail is a little bit compressed. Needless to say, this is what I see. This page is designed to, let's just say, motivate you, although it doesn't motivate me at all. Because depending on how your metrics are doing, not many of the videos I post, unfortunately, are more popular than some of the videos I've previously posted. So this 6 out of 10 here, this is going to be demoralizing when you have a video that's 10 out of 10. Basically, YouTube is saying, out of the last 10 videos you've uploaded, this is the worst. That's basically how the metric goes. And so for each of these, you get an insight into how the current video, the most recent video, is doing compared to the top one. Now, I have to say I come from a place of privilege because I have a fairly large subscriber count, but these are incredibly low numbers for that subscriber count. If you've seen the subscriber count on the channel, you'll see it's very high, but I don't have the kind of view counts that maybe other subscribers at that channel sort of size have. And there is a reason for that. I'll get into that later in this video. There's a very good reason. There's probably a slightly fishy reason where, YouTube metrics aren't sort of ideal. And it relates to the sort of subscriber, but we'll get into it. So views make sense. These are all specific to the current thing. And you can go to the analytics. You can see your published videos, latest posts, total number of views, the estimated revenue in the last 28 days. So in the last 28 days, I've made £211. That is something like just nearly $300, so maybe $290 or something like that. Yeah, which is fine. It's not a good YouTube revenue for, again, this number of subscribers. There's some subscribers who channels with this kind of number who are easily making, maybe let's say 10 times that in a given month. So again, we'll talk a bit about that. Top content, last 48 hours. Basically, this is what people are watching the last 24 hours. So what is Tableau? It's high up there. People constantly searching for that. 228 views just in the last couple of days. 266 for the crash course. How to build maps in Tableau, 83. So we'll go into channel analytics, comments. You get the drift. And then over here on the right hand side, you have news, creator, and stuff like that. Then you get to the tabs. So on the left-hand side, you have dashboard, content, analytics, community, languages, content detection, when someone copies you stuff or something like that, likeness. I can actually start protecting my appearance because, of course, AI is a big thing. So YouTube has started rolling that out. I only just got access to that, so that's fun. Earning potential. So I actually got monetized a long time ago. It looks like I need to submit tax information according to this. I'm maybe late for this one. My AdSense information, customization for the channel, so how it looks and all the URLs and stuff. An audio library. These are audio tracks that YouTube has put up there for you to use. So what some people do is they download ones that they like and they use them in videos. If you've watched YouTube channels and you hear music, chances are a lot of that music has come from here, because these have been cleared with something called Content ID, which listens to your video and tries to identify music or sounds that are not yours, copyrighted. And the way they do that is that those companies, those music companies, record companies, film companies, movie companies, all of those studios send YouTube their raw assets to analyze, and then YouTube's algorithm is able to identify that content in your content. So if I have a video from Apple in my video and I don't credit Apple, or I take too much of a cut, let's say more than 20 something seconds, their Content ID system will notify Apple to say, hey, I found your content in this specific place. This is where content detection comes in, and they'll tag it. So that's what that does. Anyway, that's a whistle-stop view. What you're really here for is, I guess, the analytics, but very briefly, we'll touch on the content. This is the content view. You'll see it's just a very simple list. And yeah, all the latest videos are here. Sometimes I run A/B tests, so these are super interesting. This is a new feature, so on a specific thumbnail, I'll put like several titles. So I see here, testing Claude co-work on a data model, where Claude co-work got it wrong, didn't need Tableau for this ish. So obviously this one performed better, and it's performance based on view counts. So the watch time, sorry, not view counts. So basically the title and the thumbnail have led people to watch more of the video. So that's what it indexes on, and that's what YouTube wants, basically. So that's something. So for each video you get this view. So for each video you get the analytics. So you can see this is the last video I uploaded. I uploaded it, what is it now, 9 days ago. It's 821 views, 89 hours of watch time, one lonely subscriber subscribed out of 829. We'll come to the unique numbers in a second. £6.29 of YouTube revenue, which is sort of interesting. Then you get a breakdown of external, subscription, direct. And so what you'll see here, if I just zoom into this, is that external, this is coming from Google search, this is coming from LinkedIn, this is coming from Twitter. All of those places that aren't YouTube combine only account for 21% of all the views on this video. Everything else comes from the YouTube platform itself. So when I tell people that YouTube is actually the world's second largest search engine, I'm really genuinely being serious, because like 80% of watch traffic on YouTube comes from YouTube, nowhere else. So sharing your videos on socials, sharing your videos, that has next to no impact whatsoever compared to YouTube's own recommendation engine. Here, 21.6%. YouTube Home, the subscription feed, people who have already subscribed to you, which is why I ask you to subscribe, and then direct or unknown. And this is typically when someone has been directly sent the link. So if I send you something on WhatsApp, that would actually count as external. But if I send you the link in an email, that would directly be just someone coming to the video directly. So literally pasting the URL and coming from no previous activity. It's a bit of a strange one for this one. What must have happened is someone's pasted it somewhere, and a large number of views have come directly from that. So sometimes I look at these numbers and I know exactly what's going on, sometimes inside of Salesforce or something like that, because I'll see the metadata to say, hey, this number is high, or this percentage is higher than normal, and you can kind of see. Then what I get after a few days is this breakdown of the video, so I can see in the video what specific bits people were interested in. So I lose a lot of people watching the beginning of the video. You can see these little peaks, these little moments when people want to see specific things, and they're normally aligned with a timestamp. So you can see this one aligns with validating the AI analysis as a peak. So people are like, okay, great analysis. Was it actually right? And then from there on, once we get to 21%, I don't really lose people that much as compared to like the big drop off at the beginning. Most people who kind of get to this are kind of watching it. So the way to read about this is, look, after 35 minutes, 11% of people are still watching. So 11% of 821 are still watching the video. So that's 82, roughly 90 people are still watching after that time, which is why this has a pretty good watch time, even though the view count's fairly low compared to some of the other videos. If you see, it's kind of actually in the average range. What we should really go look for is the average watch time. So the average watch duration, if we go to engagement, is 6 minutes 29. So every single video gets this level of analysis, and it's actually suffocating because you can't help but get involved. Like, oh, you had 664 unique viewers. So unique viewers and views, that's a difficult one. I don't know how they count this. It is easy to, like, for me to count as like 2 views in here. It's to do with IP addresses. It's to do with where you come from. It's to do with things like your internet connection. YouTube has a very good algorithm, but the other thing is it can also do with sessions. And sometimes if you've got things like ad blockers, YouTube can't really ascertain who you are. So if you're a logged in user, it knows who you are. But if you're not, it has to ascertain that number using other signals. So it's a rough number, but it's an estimated number. It even tells you this is what it thinks is the number. The revenue, this is based on watch time from views that were monetizable. This is a hard one to explain. So YouTube does everything on a per 1,000 view basis, RPM, revenue per 1,000, revenue per mil is the actual term. And of the 800 and something views, if you go over here, so 821 views, only 602 were monetizable. So if you have an ad blocker and you watch my content, you're kind of not helping me out here. But for every 1,000 views I get on this video, I will earn roughly £6.70, right? So £6.70 does not equate to the amount of time I spent on this video at all. But that's not the point. The point is I made the videos because I love it. It's a creative outlet. It's super important. And then the type of advert that goes on the video is normally the skippable video ad. So the kind of video ads you can skip. But sometimes it's a display ad, non-skippable ad, 2% bumper ads, unknown. And these are the ads that people are paying. So an advertiser, when they come to the channel, will pay £25 to put an advert on 1,000 views of my channel. Okay. And from that £25, YouTube takes a cut to run the platform. Then of the remaining amount, they take a certain percentage of that and I get the remainder. So it goes all the way from 25.28 per 1,000 to advertise on this specific video down to £6.70 on this specific video. Okay, per 1,000 views. That's not the actual number. These are just per 1,000. So those are the two numbers to sort of compare. So that will give you some sort of percentage. So I'm getting roughly 25% of the value that YouTube is finding out there in the world after you've taken running costs, hosting costs, everything else. So it's a small share. It's a bit like publishing. You don't really get sort of a representative share for the knowledge you're presenting. The publisher takes a decent chunk for actually having the ability to publish your book and take a risk on you. So that's sort of what YouTube is doing here. I will say YouTube is the only platform that has a model this good, which is why lots of people work on YouTube, because it actually pays compared to TikTok or Instagram, where unfortunately all the work you do there, unless you're bringing in 1 million plus views every single TikTok or whatever, is not paid. So that's how a single video works. Right, we've got an editor. You can go and edit different parts of a video and play around with it. Comments, you can see the comments in every video. And so these are in real time. It's super interesting. I love comments. Oh my God, I waste so much time in here. I don't waste. I spend valuable time with my audience in comments. And I love it. I love it. Languages. This is a really interesting one. This one's completely crashed, so I'll show you a different one. Monetization is already monetized. Copyright, no issues. YouTube has found. And clips. I can create clips and share them out with people from here. So every single video gets that level of detail into it. If I go to this one, let's go to this one and let's see if we can look at languages. Yeah, this one's a good one. So AI has massively blown open the game. So every single one of my videos, you'll see the languages which are published here. This is where YouTube is confident that the AI voice translation is very good enough that people will watch it. So Dutch, France, German, Hindi, Indonesia, Italian, Japanese, Polish, Portuguese, Spanish, and Ukrainian. This is a large percentage of like the total population. English covers about most of YouTube, like half of YouTube. Then all these European countries cover a decent chunk of the rest of YouTube. Then you have some slightly more challenging languages where the translation doesn't always work. You can switch this to publish, but what YouTube is doing is saying it's giving you the option to push those through because it's not confident about the quality. However, it is translating the description and the title for every video. So if you look here on the right hand side, all of them are actually native. So if you are coming to YouTube from another country, you will actually see everything has been translated. I didn't do that. YouTube did that for me, which massively blows open the audience to a particular video. That, however, does not change the way the algorithm behaves. So you might think, oh, great, now everyone in all these countries can watch the content. Not unless the YouTube algorithm wants them to. That is one dynamic to watch out for. Okay, cool. So that's content. Now analytics. Oh, this is where YouTube careers come to live and die. For the record, I don't have a YouTube career. YouTube is a side hustle for me. It's like a very it's something I do when I have time, and you'll see that here in the analytics. And the best view for this is to look at the last year. And this is where you start to really see the story of my channel because it's very telling. YouTube loves metronomic consistency. You spend one day every week on YouTube, it will reward you very, very well. And you can kind of see this through my posting here. You can see that I post fairly consistently. I never really let it go 2 weeks without posting something. And some of the videos, like conference, obviously just big burst of videos makes a lot of sense around conference. So you'd expect that. It's a big hive, lots of people searching. Also lots of people just wanting to see what's going on at conference. But then afterwards, it goes back to being normal. And then it goes quiet. If you look here, you can see that I just stopped posting for a while. And this is actually because I started to realize something. I could see already in March of last year that like something wasn't right. I'll come to that in a second. And so I just stopped because there's no point making content if you don't understand what's going on. And it was sort of affecting like average view numbers by like 20-30%, and that's quite a big percentage. So I stopped partly because of that, like round here, but then I had a lot of personal challenges regarding, let's just say, making sure your family is well settled into its new routine, new ways of life. Don't want to go into it too much, but I spent a ton of my time making sure certain resources were available in the right setting for my son. And so that took basically all my mental space and time in order to be able to create content. So I made content when I could, but even then, I also struggled to really understand what was changing at Tableau in a way that I could easily communicate. And so I just stopped because you can even see this video that says we're back. And it's a bit like, what's the word? Like jumpstart, because I say we're back and then I don't really hit the momentum that I've had before. And this has really bugged me. Because at this point I started realizing I didn't quite understand Salesforce and what was going on. And I really struggled to understand it. And also it just wasn't interesting. Even though I'm making the content, it really wasn't doing anything to the view count. And then, yeah, we just carry on. And, the dips and troughs are weekdays and weekends. But now, like over Christmas, obviously, hey, listen, if you're watching my channel on the 1st of Jan, like, what are you doing? If you're watching my channel on Christmas Day, please, what are you doing? But yeah, like the channel is well and truly nowhere near where it's been. If you want to see something funny, if I go to the lifetime of the YouTube channel, this is the total. So my YouTube channel was mostly non-existent. 2010, this channel started. 2010. I posted some of the earliest content, like way back when. Now, some of this stuff was not here, but you don't really get to see all the stuff further back. It only shows you the last year. But long story short, we'll go back to some of the early videos. Some of these were just videos I just didn't do anything about. And then I think I spoke about this in my newsletter. I decided to make a deal out of something during COVID. And yeah, that's when it just blew up. And yeah, the rest is history. So the best, strongest performance on my channel was 2024, like March 2024. And I remember that time. Like that time I was thinking, oh, maybe I'll be able to hire an editor in like a year's time if I keep going at this pace and stuff like that. I had all these grand plans, but hey, it didn't happen. So 5.5 million views, 440,000 hours. That's mad. I don't think I've lived that long. It's absolutely crazy. 242,000 subscribers. And you'll see here something really interesting, that there is like a start-stop nature to it. It's like, it's almost like clockwork. Something is happening that is really driving the view counts. And I'll tell you what this is, because I know what it is. I discovered it was happening here, and then I kind of started to play around with it myself here, and it didn't quite work so well. So I can't explain it, but yeah, we'll get into it. And then, oh my God, I even have negative numbers here. So there are some days where I was actually losing, like I lost 40 subscribers in one day. What day was that? Oh my God, 8th of July 2025, I lost 40 subscribers. That's brutal. Wow, what did I post on that day? My word. Oh, wait, I lost them 8th of July. Okay, I gained a ton after, so it wasn't all bad. Oh, but yeah, God, that's really bad. I hate days when you lose lots of people, because you've definitely done something to annoy people. £31,000 is the total I've earned in the lifetime of the channel. A lot of people think I make a ton of money on YouTube, and this is a lot of money to a lot of people. Don't get me wrong. I know this amount of money as a side hustle on top of your income would be life-changing to so many people. In fact, the majority of people who watch videos on my channel. I'm not going to sort of pretend that that isn't the case. However, I will also say that I think if you are able to land a job in this industry, you will see that number, and you will know that depending on where you are in the world, to be fair, that number is actually less than you'd be able to earn on a single year's wage, right? And what I'm trying to do is enable people. And so you might ask, well, what have you, like, where does that money go? Actually, I make a loss on the YouTube channel, which is a funny thing to understand, because of course a lot of that has to be taxed. In the UK, the tax is pretty punitive, which is all fun. The costs around things like insurance, equipment, gear, I look and sound good, all of that goes back into making the channel better. I invest a little bit in things like subscriptions and software. So I wouldn't say all of that, but about half of that has gone into equipment, lights, like my laptop. I've changed my laptop once. I've upgraded a few things. I've bought a microphone. Like this microphone is like £400. So this kind of gear, at least in the past, has been very, very expensive. Today, I'm talking to you from a webcam. Yes, if you didn't believe me, this camera that I got literally 2 days ago is a webcam. This is where technology is today. 2 months ago, the camera that was in that same position was a $3,500 camera plus lens. And yeah, I've replaced it with a $200 webcam. Crazy. Anyway, all to say, yeah, that money goes places. And so the way that I actually make the channel profitable is I make courses with LinkedIn. So the LinkedIn work that I do, that is profitable for the time that I spend on it. And that allows me to basically underpin the YouTube channel and make sure that I can just keep making videos without really paying attention to this number. So yep, in the 5 years that I've had this channel, this is the total number that I've earned. So 5 years that we've had. So yeah, 5 million views, that's the total number. If you go to content, we look at some of these other pages, but I don't think we get the detail for these pages. Yeah, content won't work in this particular tab. Subscribers only goes back to a certain point, and you will see that, oh no, the subscribers goes back as far as really it matters. They stopped collecting a certain way prior to that. So yeah, it really matters from 2018, to be fair. You can see, that March period, 2024, God, that's crazy. That is crazy. Like, what happened here? What happened here? What does this number actually say? Subscribers, monthly audience. Oh, monthly audience, fine. So this is like the number of people it thinks were watching my channel, right? On a monthly basis. So 102,000 was, I like quite rightly sort of guessed the peaks. 102,000 audience, and then boom, it just falls. And this must be a rolling number. I never know how sometimes these numbers work. By the subscriber count, we've seen that. So the monthly audience is interesting. So every month, of course, the same person can be in each of those months. So this is just basically showing the momentum of the channel. And then you see, like, you can actually see the algorithm at work, because you can just see it just falls off a cliff, right? This would have been conference or something. And then it's just like, no, boom, down, and then boom, down. And then you come up again, boom, down. You come up again, boom, down. Yeah, even if I've been making content here, you can see, like, it doesn't matter what I'm doing. It's just constantly on the way down. So anyway, popular with different audiences, you get a little bit of that. Videos growing, you get some insight. You can see when most people are posting on the YouTube channel. Where do people watch? Most people are watching on desktop, which is a shame for my channel because the bigger audience is on mobile phones. If majority of my audience are watching on my computer, that means most of my content isn't actually good enough to be watched on a mobile phone. So this is basically where shorts come in, because if I go to shorts, you'll see that a large percentage of people on mobile are actually in this white slot. So mobile becomes the larger one. So if I'm going to try and grow the channel, I am actually going to have to start making more shorts than I make normal videos, which pains me a little bit because I don't think shorts are a great format. Videos in general, yeah, you watch my content, 4K, lovely sound, lovely video. Yeah, 76.8% prefer it on desktop. Mobile phone, not so much. TV, some people watch on TV. I watch my own videos on the TV. It's kind of fun. Tablet, very small percentage. Live stream, most people are watching those on their desktop because I'm normally streaming during like a conference or something like that. Where is my audience? Mostly in the States, then India, then United Kingdom, then Canada, then Germany. So India and USA alone are the two biggest parts of my audience. This takes forever to load. So yeah, there you go. There's a better table. So you can kind of see where the majority of my audience is. Super interesting to drill into these, but you can also see there's huge variances in watch time, right? So in India, people watch my videos a lot less. And the way I kind of think about that is potentially that there are a lot of offshore sort of centers in India. And so what can be happening here is they're looking for tips and tricks more often than maybe an American or Western viewer who's maybe just looking to consume some sort of passive content. So they'll leave it up for a little bit longer. That said, those short views still account for 25.8% of my total view count. So a quarter of my views go out to India. The other 30% go out to United States. And then I'd have to probably add up Europe as a whole nother 25%. So United Kingdom, Canada, Germany. And that makes sense from a population perspective. And then every other country is just basically not even a single percentage point. So, yeah, there's a long tail of lots of different types of views. But again, with the watch time here, you can see that America sort of really drags the channel up. So that's why a lot of YouTubers come from the United States and Canada, because they kind of are just speaking to their home audience, and that makes it naturally a really good fit. Age and gender, this is all sort of guesstimation. It's not actual profile data. So yes, YouTube gets you to log in, but where it doesn't know that information, it actually can't use your profile to do this stuff. So this is actually based on, what does it say? Viewer age is based on the age that users tell us when making their account. It does not yet reflect users that YouTube estimated to be underage. Okay. This is self-reported age based on YouTube accounts. And I think there's some statistical work that goes into that spread. Most of my viewers are male, decent percentage, 30% nearly are female. And yeah, unspecified, 0%. I guess YouTube must be forcing people to choose a gender. Maybe the options doesn't quite sort of reflect what we'd say progressive ways of defining gender. Notifications, 7,000 people have all notifications on, so they will actually get the notification. Wait, no. 7,000 people have notification for subscriptions on. Only 3,500 will get the channel notification on because they've actually got it enabled and they've not silenced it on their phones. That's a good metric to know. So when I make a video, there's a chance that one of these 3,500 people will act on it if they have their notifications not silenced. Okay, so that's it's a very small number of the total sub count. So yeah, revenue, I think we've gone through this. You can kind of see there is some sort of seasonality to it. October, why was October big? I'm not entirely sure. I'll come back to that later. My most earned video, so what is Tableau? Nearly £5,000 as a single video. Tableau desktop crash course, £3,000. And this speaks to the problem, right? So on YouTube, there is this tendency for what I would call beginner content. So if I do a video on, like, if I did a course on LODs, or I did something on the data model with Kirk for an hour and a half, unfortunately, that would not get anywhere near these kinds of views. because there's just an abundance of people who are looking to get started with something. That's sort of the YouTube genre, people who are just starting out. And then once you start out and you know your way, you kind of rely less on tutorials because you sort of know your way. So it is getting to the point where I have to kind of ditch this approach of covering what's new every single time, and every so often do these absolutely behemoth edits that are massive because they're the only thing that work. And it's a difficult thing to do because I've done it sometimes and it's not really yielded anything. Tableau for Beginners, a comprehensive guide, like only 370. That took me as much time as this desktop crash course, and yet it's completely different view count. So if I spend a week on something, this is a really good way of actually understanding value, because if a lot of people want to watch it, YouTube will put a lot of ads on it. And if a lot of people, they put a lot of ads on it and people still watch it, that is a good sign of people want that content. So I don't want to sit here and focus on the number, but the number is a good way of indexing the kind of content that people want to watch, because they're kind of sticking through the ads. It's got some sort of level of stickiness so the ads don't disrupt their watch time. For shorts, very different ball game. Even though this video probably has a gazillion, maybe 10,000 views, it's only got £4.69. So if you see all those people who are getting rich off shorts, they're making lots and lots of videos with like 1 million views. That's how they're making lots of money, versus my, short with 10,000 or something like that. And live stream, wow, like Tableau conference keynote, that earned £16, £14. So the ads on those must be actually doing something. So yeah. Interesting way to look at analysis, but watch page ads. These are all the different types of ads here across the shop. So memberships are interesting. So memberships come from people who are very, very kind on the channel, and they support me in 2 levels, and it's actually very, very low. Okay, supporter and backer, the 2 levels. Actually, it's just easier to go to the channel and show you this. So how would I show you membership levels? This is a difficult one. How would I actually show it to you? Oh god, it doesn't. This is annoying. Do I have to go to, what would I have to go to? Memberships. Here we go. I have 2 types of, where are they? Levels. Here you go. Yeah. So 99 pence or £1 and £3 basically. £2.99. It is really hard to change these. So once you get these approved, it's actually not easy to change them. You have to basically delete them and start again. And I don't want to disrupt what members are already doing. So I've just left these as is, as a way for people to support the channel. I have not put enough value into them. I'll put my hands up into that. And, if people cancel, that is totally understandable. I think people have cancellations from the last 30 days that are up 33%. So, but I've also gained as many people as I've cancelled. So it's basically just flatlining. You can see it's kind of just stayed the same for a period of time. Active members, again, roughly staying flat. So just sustaining a certain level of membership. 44 loyal members. I really appreciate you. This is equivalent to a Patreon or signing up to a newsletter in the YouTube world. Supers are rare. I don't really get those because I don't live stream enough. I don't sell anything. I have no brand connect kind of content. Audience interest just tells you kind of what kind of ads people would sort of pay for. I have like a media kit. This is funny. So it tells like other people about what the channel is good for. This is kind of like a really interesting way of looking at your channel. It kind of gives you everything in one view, what marketeers actually care for, so they can very quickly understand what they're dealing with, and they'll give them a good sample of the kind of videos that people can expect from your channel. So yeah, it's a pretty good thing. You can actually download it and do a bunch of stuff. Giving, I don't really fundraise. Player for education, you're earning from YouTube Player for education. Oh, okay, so this is interesting. So what is going on here? YouTube Player for education must be maybe for the courses. Maybe people have enabled YouTube for education in a very specific setting, and so the revenue coming from that is going there. A couple of things to cover off. What has been happening with subscriber count? Why is it that if I go to subscribers, you can see these sudden jumps? And this is to do with something called promoted videos. So to see the promoted videos, here you go. You go to content and you got inspiration. YouTube actually tries to give you ideas based on what it knows is happening. And what I normally see here is all the amazing stuff that other people in the YouTube community are doing that is a bit beyond me. So what it sometimes does is, he's using AI to suggest, oh God, I hate this. He's using AI to suggest thumbnails and stuff like that. And to be honest with you, gosh, when I looked at this a month ago, it was really bad. This is not good, but it's improving a little bit. It doesn't look anything like Tableau, but hey, we'll take it. So you got some sort of ideas of themes. I've actually saved a few examples. If you go in here, I've sometimes saved some of the prototypes that it suggested. And these aren't bad video titles. Crap thumbnails is a good example of what I think is a crap thumbnail. It's not really my brand or my voice, but I think these are good titles, and it figured that out without sort of me doing some. So if you want some video ideas, I think these 3 are banger titles. If you can make content to speak to these titles, that is how YouTube works. You will get a really good audience. Okay. Promotions. Here you go. Here we go. So here we go. So this is something I played around with. What I did is I took the YouTube revenue and I put it back into the channel, and I was trying to see what does this do to view counts and subscriber counts. So if you look at this, I basically, for about 6 months, I just put all my YouTube revenue back into the channel. So basically promoted my own videos with my own YouTube revenue. So like I said, it's mostly a loss-making enterprise. So this one is interesting. So I spent £2,000 paying YouTube to promote my most watched video. So it's already got a pretty good viewership. And the reason I did that is because I already knew what the baseline for that video was. And I wanted to see if it would do anything bad to that video from a viewership perspective. And whether on the other end of that, the video would like still have this sort of beating heart to it, right? And long story short, it did. But the outcome was only 56,000 subscribers. So basically what this did is it showed the video to 20 million times. It gave people an option to watch it 20 million times. It only generated 387 views, but from those 387 views, about, if we say that's 1/6, no, it's actually, call that 400,000 views, just maybe like between a 7th to a 6th, like that kind of ratio, actually subscribed. And I tried the same with the Tableau prep video. Actually got better return on investment for that. If you look at the view count, it's 5 times less, that number. But that is, actually, no, I didn't get better ROI on that. It should give you a column for ROI. If I'd spent a bit more money on that, it probably would have ended up with roughly the same percentage. So you get the idea. And then I did like a very small experiment to try and optimize for specific terms. And I actually started to understand it a little bit, because I did get better ROI on this specific one, and then I stopped it again. So a lot of these have stopped. This was back in 23, 24, and yeah, they've ended. So, I'm not really benefiting from them, but I'm also aware that someone else was paying for ads on my videos. I don't know who. I don't get that detail. It is not hard. You basically go onto Google AdSense, you pick your video, you pick your promotions, you choose the video that you want to push, and that's it. You go off it. It doesn't stop you not promoting videos that aren't your own. You can push basically other content on YouTube and use YouTube content to sort of push your own names. It will say that YouTube's been promoted and who it's been promoted by, but that's about it. If you promote yourself, it doesn't do that. It just gets the video out in front of people. YouTube is an ad business. So very interesting mechanic. I don't think I like it, but that is what sort of caused the really irregular subscriber movements, because these subscribers that kind of came from it were coming from that. Now, I don't know what else was causing that, but I think there's a correlation between this activity and that. For example, you might have watched this promotion, liked the video, not subscribed, gone on, done something else, come back, watched another one of my videos, then subscribed. So that could be the behavior that you're seeing, but it's not entirely sure. Collaborations, these are videos I've made on another channel that I've collaborated with me. So you can see the view counts and stuff for those. Some of these are doing pretty well. The Tableau Next channel getting some love. I love it. And yeah, that's that. So I think I've covered virtually everything. Trends is an interesting one. Yes, AI just killed these 5 data analyst skills. Yeah, Kadisha, I think that's right. Yeah, Kadisha Bryan is doing some fantastic. Like, the amount of data creators is just mad. If I could sort of draw your attention to some channels that just got it right, I'm going to just be a fanboy for a minute here and just go to my favorite channel right now. I've been a fan of Barra for so long, and you know, it's about time that Barra had the audience that he has. He is cooking on fire. He is topical. He's got the professional experience to talk from a place of authority. He knows his stuff. His content is on point. If you watch his tableau videos, like the most popular video on here, my God, a 21 hour edit, 899,000 views in 1 year. This is madness. 10 months ago, 2.5 million views. Like, he's creating fire, and he's just quit his job to do this full time, if you didn't know. So this is all from before he quit his job to do this. And now you can see the man has content virtually every week, and it's also cooking. Like, some of these view counts are things I aspire to get after a year. He's doing it in 9 days. So his system is on fire. He has cracked the data niche on YouTube, and he knows his stuff, which is why it's valuable, and also why he can teach it so well, because he takes that skill and applies his knowledge to it in a genuine. You can see that he understands the topic inside out. He's not just teaching it to you. He's not just repeating something. You're watching it and getting the dopamine hit. He's actually engaging you and keeping you entertained in a genre that has to fight with Mr. Beast to get a viewership. Barra, hats off to you. And he did it in like ridiculous time. Oldest video, 3 years old. Look at that. And he started with Tableau. He's one of us. He's one of the data fam. Then he moved to SQL. Then he moved to Python and ChatGPT. And then he moved a bit back to Tableau. And I love him because he did something that I wished people did, which is, I made a bunch of sketch notes, and Barra saw them. He thought that was a really interesting way of doing it. He actually read the blog where I showed how to do it, and he took it and he pushed it to another level. If you see his videos today, and sketchnoting is not unique to me, by the way. Sketchnoting is a technique that is widely available on the internet. I'm not the first to discover it. Many other people have done it on YouTube. If you see some of his videos now, it's an integral part to the way he teaches. It's literally the way he engages people. If you go to some of these comments, people will say time and time again, the way you have drawn these concepts. If we just go to one of these videos and just look at this, like, these are he's like done this on an iPad. Okay, he has drawn this out, the attention to detail that goes into this kind of layout, this way of explaining stuff. It takes time. This is not easy, and you could try and use AI for this, but then it wouldn't look this good. It would not work this well. And yeah, he's just taken those techniques, he set it up, and he's absolutely flying. So hats off Barra for truly building off inspiration. That is what artists are supposed to do. And he's generally taken this sort of creative endeavor to that level. So super incredible. I would not be surprised if by the end of this year, Barra is close to 1 million views and is easily challenging, data nerds like Alex the Analyst in terms of being one of the biggest data creators in the space. And the reason is because, again, he's doing it from a place of authority. He's been working in the industry for years. He's bringing that knowledge to this community, and the loyalty, the brand loyalty he has built in is incredible. If I just take like a super popular video, 2.5 million views, let's take this one. Just go to these comments, just full of hearts and love and people who are thankful. And it just goes on and on. When you have this impact on people, it is wild. And look, there's a detail here you probably missed. He's responding to every single one. It's not just like, oh yeah, like. No, these hearts, you have to manually do them yourself. So you can see that he has read, he's engaged. Every single one of these, when they came in, he saw them in YouTube Creator Studio, and he actually chose to do something about it. Even I don't do that. That is the level of fandom that he has with his community. He is a real leader of his community from a knowledge perspective, from an experience perspective. And yeah, he's built an incredible following. So yeah, fandom over. I'll go back to my channel here that needs a little bit of a jump start of some sort. So I'm on the operating table and I need to be shocked back into life. That's where we are with my channel. So yeah, that is the YouTube channel in a nutshell. You probably saw frustrations and pain and happiness as well in my face, because it's a labor of love. And once you have it, it's really weird when people discover I have a YouTube channel. It's a very strange thing to explain to people, because I think to a lot of people it's an incredible achievement, and it is. But at the same time, it's a phase, right? The work I did to make this happened 3 or 4 years ago. Can I put that same energy into it now? Probably not. And so when people find my channel today and they go, wow, you have how many subscribers? I'm like, whoa, yes. I don't have the kind of fandom that Barrett has. I don't have that momentum. The reason my subscriber count is so high is because I think I have a lot of transient viewers. So you discover my channel, you learn Tableau, and then 3 years later, you're probably not watching my channel at all because you've moved on. You've gone to another job, you've been promoted, you're no longer using Tableau. And that is my content. And because I do lots of here's what's new in Tableau, unfortunately, that does punish you. So if I just go to, let's say, classic view the data model in Tableau, 2,000 views, yeah? AI agent in desktop, okay, this is a fairly decent thing, but even 10,000 views for a feature that was released almost a year ago, that's basically like that video is not doing anything. And you can go to the analytics and you kind of see this line chart. Actually, this is not too bad. Okay, this has actually got an okay life. When you see a straight line like this and it beats the channel average and it just keeps going, that basically is a sign that YouTube algorithm likes it. But yeah, 10,000 views, only 42 subscribers, a lot of watch time, not much revenue. Again, if you don't see this number higher for that number of views, then it's just not it's not sticky, because about halfway through 45% of people are still watching. So it is a little bit of a strange one. Let's go back. What's new in Tableau? 25.2, yeah, 4,000 views. There were times when I did these videos and like I'd get 10,000 views or so. If I go back, the new Tableau deep dive, back here, I'd do a video and within days, certain videos would get like really big viewership. So something like that, 4,000 views, 2024.3. What's new in this release? Look at the analytics. Yeah, this has petered off, but you see it did all its sort of watch time in the first 160 days. That's not happening anymore. Yeah, like it's done from 424 to 470, basically 500 views, but the first 100 days is when it really did its numbers. That doesn't happen anymore. It just does not happen anymore. I'm not getting that same. And look at this. In the first, if I go back to view count, first 30 days, 3,000, yeah, and then 4,000. Just that doesn't happen anymore. So it's a hard one to explain, but it is that way. And there you go. Yeah, I'll stop it there. I've been going on for about an hour. Hope the AI can do decent timestamps. But yeah, this has been a pretty thorough analysis of the channel. Curious on your comments. I guarantee you YouTube won't show you this. I have to come up with a really good thumbnail, like how much money did I make in my YouTube channel, something like that. You see those thumbnails from YouTubers, and it's because that genre gets a ton of views for that reason. Yeah, hopefully this completely transparent overview of the channel has helped you see into the window of the channel and understand what's going on. I didn't cover as much stuff as I thought I would, but I've also spent way too much time. So this is a great place to end. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.